Even though I'm in the shade, I need shades. Oh, the brightness. Florida days, you know? Anyhow, so, yeah, why am I here? Rebecca Niehaus needs prayers. She's looking for a home and a car. And so I need y'all to put her on our prayer list and ask for divine guidance and help. Meanwhile, here's some not so divine guidance, mine. So she asked the question of how I find properties, and I use several methods. Excuse me. There's elm pollen right now, and I'm dying. I feel like my left eyeball's gonna fall out of my head. The Mucinex combination with the Claritin D has been very helpful. So, enough of that. How I find homes. Okay. I use several methods and I get on to their mailing list. So, the first thing I do is I go to Zillow and Realtor.com. And, well, actually, let's go backwards here. I find the cheapest states with the lowest cost housing and residential taxes by Googling it. States with the most affordable housing might be one of my searches. Then I take a paper and pen and I make a list of those states. Then I go to each state and I type in county with lowest housing and residential taxes. And those come up and I make a new list of that state, that county, and I concentrate on those counties and those states with the lowest housing costs, the lowest tax costs. I also search for the Medicaid benefits to make sure long-term is available with home health care. This is going to be important if I can't take care of myself in the future, God forbid. But if it should happen, I want to be in a state where someone can come to me. I am like my husband. I'm not going to any institutions, and that's it. And I'm not going to ask my children to take care of me because what the hell was that? Florida gives me the creeps, especially when there's tall grasses beside me like this, and I thought I heard a rattlesnake. Maybe it was an alligator. Let me get up and check this. An alligator. Well, I can't find anything, so. All right. What was I saying? Darn it. That's how I do it. First, I search for the lowest housing costs in states in the United States. Then I go to the states and I look for the lowest taxes per county and housing costs. And then I start searching. So I'll make an account on Zillow and I'll save searches. Perhaps I'm searching a particular town in Iowa. What was the name of that town that had very, very good prices, and all of those are gone? They were under $10,000 a piece, and one of them looked really straight and sturdy. It looked like it just was going to be, it might have been, total renovation. At $7,500, I would imagine it probably needed everything. So, you gotta put that into consideration. So I use Zillow.com, Zillow, if you're not familiar with it, Realtor.com, Realtor.com. I use Point2Homes.com, POINT, the number 2, HOMES.com. Then I have another strategy. So once I find a state and a county I like, then I start looking at the towns and I go to niche.com, NICHE.com, and I look at that state and town and they give me all the demographics, income, average income, wages, average home price, crime statistics, uh, population, and the breakdown of population into races. They give you everything. And that helps me. And then I might Google and try to have a look at the town, go to the town website and look at pictures of the town. Maybe do Google Maps, especially if I find a house that I might like. I'll bring up the street view if they have one, and then I start moving it around. I want to look across the street. I want to look at either side of the house. I want to try to get behind the house. Sometimes there's a road and you can actually like take your little arrow and follow it. I'm very thorough, and sometimes I'll call the town and talk to them about the particular property. If I'm concerned about crime being a little high in the area and you're really serious about a home, you call the local police of that town and you talk to them about it. I'm considering buying this house. I'm a woman alone. How is crime in that area? Do I need to be concerned? And they're very honest, very honest. When I moved to Florida with Dennis and I was looking for an apartment, we were in Brooksville, which is, quite a ways north. And I knew the apartments were sketchy. When the guy told me, no, you can't leave your wheelchair on the outside porch, they'll steal it. And I was desperate at that time, so I called the police station local and talked to them, and he said, ma'am, are you alone? I said, well, I have a very ill husband, but basically I'm head of the household. And he said, then you don't want to live there, period. Okay, took him at his word. So these are some of my strategies for finding a place. My heart seems to be drawn to West Virginia. Don't ask me why. I don't know. I just want to go to West Virginia. I think some of the reasons are mountains and seasons. I want mountains and seasons. Unfortunately, there's no ocean. But quite frankly, I never get to the ocean, or very, very rarely. In the amount of years I've been here, I've been a handful of times, which is really sad, but I don't know, life is just full of crap. I don't always feel well, and I don't know. I know that, West Virginia has, but boy, I'll tell you, Iowa is cheap. If you don't mind flat land, Iowa's cheap. Probably, and if I didn't mind the cold, I'd probably look more north Minnesota, Upper Peninsula, Michigan, maybe the Dakotas. Those are, better prices. Well, nothing's a better price right now. My recommendation is, if you can wait and you can be patient, do it. You can't, people think, oh, prices going up, they're going to just keep going. It never works that way. It never works that way. Look at the history of housing sales. Start in the 1900s and go all the way up to now, and you'll see it. Wee, and then and wee. I mean, in the same with commodities. You can look at the historic gold charts and you'll see the same darn thing. Stock market, same thing. What goes up must come down. It just seems to be the law of economics. So, yeah, and we're in trouble when the Fed starts raising interest rates. And the UN is asking them not to, for fear of collapsing other markets. Well, so I've held off on buying the gold that I wanted to, because something's not quite right. I was right about gold going down, but I thought it reached the 1660, I think. I said I'd buy in at 1650, but I would have at 1660. However, I think this is a right now it's up to 1705, 1709. When I checked it this morning, it could change at any time, either up or down. And because the feds are going to possibly raise rates on the dollar or not raise rates, is going to determine what gold will do next. I'm saying this because, one, I was in the business for several years. Two, I follow the trends and I really research, and I'm still listening today to different people's opinions, but I don't even take my opinion seriously. My vision on this right now, as far as metals are concerned, is that, and I always talk about metals, I'm so sorry, please forgive me, Rebecca. I don't know why I want to keep saying Rachel, but I do. Rebecca and Rachel, they were two biblical women. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I think if they raise the rates in November, gold is going to take a dump. It's going to go down, and hopefully I'll be able to buy in there. So, I'm watching it carefully, as I always have been. But I'm going to go with my intuition, because I believe God speaks to me through intuition. We speak to God through prayer. So, yeah. And as far as houses go, it's the same deal as gold, silver, oil, copper, housing, stock market. What goes up must come down, and I'm telling you, I do believe with all my heart, and if I'm wrong, forgive me, there are going to be some incredible deals, cars, houses, land, probably everything known to man. People are going to have to start dumping things just to be able to get by. I hate to say that I believe that's happening, and it's going to continue to happen. But yeah, that's what I believe, and I'm sticking to it. So I'm being patient, and I'm talking to God. I'm talking to my late husband's spirit. I say, guide me. I need your help. You couldn't help me in this life when you were sick and you passed. You could help me now. Tell me what to do, and I'll do it. So I'm hanging on because I feel that's the right thing to do. When in doubt, do nothing. So that's what I'm doing right now, and that's pretty much it. That's how I do my search for properties. Oh, one other thing, Rebecca. So sorry, I can't remember. My mind is like, forget it. I'm surprised I'm still sane. One other thing. So let's say that you find a town, right, in any state, and there's some cheap houses there and that sort of thing. When you're on Zillow, you go to the bottom and it will say listing agent and the agencies. Take that name down and take that agency down and get their phone number, and then use their website and use their realtors to help you. That way you want, as soon as a house comes on the market, you call the realtor who has the cheapest houses, and they're willing to deal with that sort of thing, right? Call them and you set yourself up with an agent and say, look, I want to look in this area. This is my price point. This is what I need for financing. I'm willing to be patient and wait for the housing market to drop. Would you work with me? And if you don't, and then they'll put you on their list, and as soon as a cheap listing comes out, boom, you're going to get it in your email, and that's the way you want to do it. Once you find your state and town, connect with the real estate agent and have them put you on the multiple listings list. As soon as it comes out, you want it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That's my advice to you, Rebecca, and of course we're going to pray for you, for your success, and for mine too. There are hornets everywhere. The wasp catcher doesn't work on hornets. Darn it. That's another story in another video. All right, that's it. Bye.